Going back to the highest question you can ask yourself, trying to get some idea if I'm doing it correctly. I understand if you ask yourself the question, what am I? You're not supposed to find any answers or any concepts. But is it more like you from experience trying to figure out, or is it just asking the question and remain open?
Yes, just ask the question and don't superimpose the idea, I'm not supposed to find any answers. Just answer the question, ask the question simply and honestly, and see where your mind goes to find the answer. For instance, your mind may come up with an answer. You may, for instance, ask the question, who or what am I? And your mind may say, well, I'm obviously this body. That's fine. Don't say, no, that's the wrong answer. That's the answer your mind has given you. So you say, okay, I am the body. But then you explore a little bit more deeply. My body appears to me as a series of sensations and perceptions. And I am the one that is aware of these sensations and perceptions. The sensations and perceptions are continually appearing and disappearing, but I, the one that is aware of them, remains behind to know the next sensation or the next perception. So am I a fleeting sensation or perception, or am I that which is aware of them? So in this way your investigation goes a little bit deeper. And then you may say, okay, well it's true, I'm not just a temporary sensation, because I remain behind when the sensation vanishes. Your mind might then say, well, okay, but I'm my feelings, which are much deeper rooted in me than my sensations. My feelings of being inadequate or lonely or whatever. In this way, don't superimpose on this line of investigation what should happen. What should happen is what is happening. And each person, when they ask this question, will take a unique journey. And what's important is that you go on your journey. Where do you go and how do you go to answer the question, what am I essentially? And all I would encourage you to do is not to rest on any answer, not to be satisfied with any answer until you are absolutely certain that you cannot go any further back in your experience.
I've had that, I don't think you can call it experience, but I had that a couple of times. Funnily enough, when that is over again, I'm still in the person asking these questions, and what seems to also be a thing that keeps in my mind is that I'm going back to a memory of that experience I had.
Okay.
So how would you go? Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, that's happening then.
Yes. You don't want to think to yourself, okay, I asked myself the day before yesterday who I essentially am. And that line of investigation took me to an experience of myself, and I'm now remembering that experience. You don't want to remember that experience, because the memory of that experience is a thought or an image in your mind. So the memory of who you are, or the memory of that experience, is not really who you are. That memory is just another fleeting thought. So start a new line of investigation now. Am I a memory? My memories are always coming and going. I'm not always having memories, and therefore anything that I remember cannot be essentially what I am, because what I essentially am can never be removed from me. Therefore, I cannot be anything that I can remember. I cannot be anything that I imagine, because whatever I might imagine is obviously not present now. And I am present now. Therefore, anything imagined in the future cannot be inherent in what I am. Whatever is inherent in what I am must be present now and always. So, I'm not my memories. Even the memory I had of consciousness is an image in the mind. What am I essentially now? So, start a new line of investigation, and every time you start this investigation, you will travel a slightly different pathway. You'll never travel on the same pathway twice. And what you are doing each time you investigate what you are, it's like you're lost in a forest, and with each investigation you find a new pathway out of the forest. And before long you've mapped the whole forest. You know your way around it. You never get lost in it again. Because wherever you are, lost in the forest of experience, you know the way back to yourself. And that in time you find shortcuts. To begin with, you find your way out of the forest like this. You zigzag your way across the forest and you eventually find your way out. But in time you find shortcuts. It's like me going home on my bicycle to the hotel I stay at. It used to take me about an hour and a half from here to go about a quarter of a mile down the road. I'd go and I get lost and I never know which canal I was going. I never know which way I was going down the canal. In fact, even yesterday I bicycled past my hotel expecting to find it on the right. I was on the wrong side of the hotel. It was in fact on the left. So I bicycled all the way to the end of Herrengracht before I got to a place that I didn't realize. I realized I'd gone the wrong way, so I turned around and came all the way back on the other end. It did take me about 3/4 of an hour to get home last night. So, but slowly I find shortcuts. I know now that you can go through the park next to the Van Gogh Museum. You don't go all the way around like I used to do. And so you'll find shortcuts through the forest. These lines of inquiry will get shorter and shorter and shorter, until at some point you ask yourself the question, but who am I? And you go there straight away. You no longer need a pathway. That just the question, just the thought of yourself is enough to take you there.